Hey, 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 it is Lily on the go. What is going on, people? I'm wearing my new little Fenty hat. I know my hair is still kind of poofed out, so you can't really tell, but it is a day 37 of Staircase Chronicle. Yep. So it is Wednesday, and I had some things that I had a conversation yesterday. It was quite interesting. And it made me think about something related to something I heard Chrisette Michele. I don't know if you know this singer, Chrisette Michele. I remember buying her album when I was in college or something like that, and I really liked her songs, but I know she's like different now, because I think she performed at Trump's like first win at one of his parties or something like that. So everybody don't like her, or some people didn't. But anyway, I was thinking about it. So without getting into too much details, right? So I was talking with my godmother because I'm helping her with her wedding, her vow renewal, not vow renewal, I guess her second wedding vow renewal thing, her 30th. And I was discussing something with her, and she was sharing with me how she really had to pretty much put her foot down in terms of who she was and what she wasn't going to take from people and things like that. So we got into this conversation, and it was very enlightening because as a person who's been married for 30 years, I've kind of grew up around their dynamics. So, was familiar with it. And I know she was saying it hasn't been easy at all, but they've gotten to a point where they really get along, and like they get along really, really well now that it's a breeze for them. So right now, a lot of my aunts and uncles and the elders that I grew up with, they are retiring, and they're really kind of honing down on now that work is no longer a priority for them. Now they have to really reestablish the relationship with their spouses that they probably didn't care about, or never really, nurtured their relationship with. So it was very interesting, the conversation I had with her yesterday. And then this morning I came across this quote that says, I wrote it down: a clarity that hurts you is better than the hopeful confusion that holds you. Okay. So a clarity that hurts you is better than the hopeful confusion that holds you. Okay. So yeah, I found that to be like, wow, such, so interesting. Yesterday I was having a conversation with Bae, and we're talking about something, or we're talking about something, and I made a suggestion, and he said, okay, we'll go with that, but this is what it would have to be. And I was like, not for it, right? and then he was like, and I stayed silent, right? And he was like, okay, so what's your plan of action? Because he's just so annoying. He was like, what's your plan of action? And I sat down, and we're on the phone. So I stayed in silence, and I was like, no, I'm just going to stay silent. And he was like, okay, for how long? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never been in this situation before, so I don't know how long it's going to take me to, to get back to you. So just, you'll be informed as soon as I have made a decision. And then, so then he was like, okay, so I'll go ahead with what we were discussing. I said, no, you don't have to, because, I don't want him doing things, and he was like, no, I told him, no, you don't have to. And he was like, oh, is it because you are not happy with what I said? And I'm like, no, it's not that. And he was like, babe, I didn't meet you just yesterday. I know you. I know how you are. You're not happy with what I said. So that's why you're saying what you said. And at that moment, it was kind of like, damn. It was like, damn. Well, I guess maybe not the word damn, but what it was for me, what it kind of like, I guess when you've been single for a very long time, right? Not a very long time, but you've been single and you really haven't had the opportunity to put in the work that you've been saying that it requires. I've been very, okay with not having to put in the work. And unfortunately, I am dealing with a different beast. He's not a beast, but, a different kind of guy. And me just being me is definitely is not going to work because that's just me being, living and doing everything for myself, doing things the way that I think about it and how I want it to be. So he got to a point where he realizes, okay, she doesn't agree with what I'm saying, or she doesn't like what I'm saying. And then he now knows my behavior or my how I react. And I'm like, that's something I don't want people to always assume or think they know me. But at the same time, I also don't want to be misunderstood. So I guess I was kind of on the fence of like, okay, do I want to be vulnerable and let him know or see me, in different situations? Or do I want to not show any emotion or just, act like nothing bothers me? So I remember my therapist long ago, she's like, hey, part of being in a relationship is that vulnerability and being able to express what your needs are, what you don't want, and all these things, and being okay with what the person says or their own reaction to it. And being that I've always been so mindful of how they're going to react and how they're going to see me, or how they're, just the aftermath, I wouldn't say, no, this is upsetting, no, this is that. I would just, my attitude would show it instead. And it's like, no, you're a big girl. Use your words. Use your words. And something I truly like about this gentleman of mine is that he's not going to let it slide. He's not. And he has a very interesting way of bringing things back up. And he's very curious, and to me, that's very attractive for a person to be curious about why you feel that way, or why, just a lot of whys. And for me, like something Chrisette Michelle said, I guess I wasn't in the space where I want to be uncovered. I don't want you to want to know why. It is what it is. And don't question me. And, so he questions me a lot. And I respond in a very pleasant way. Like him and I, I make sure that the way that I respond is still in a loving manner, because I do care, and I do, because I do want things to work out, and I do want things I am very mindful of how I respond. But the fact that he's asking me and, making me uncomfortable or making me talk about something I don't want to talk about, it's like, ugh. But, and I think, and I say this because, like she said, Chrisette was saying, she don't want people to know when she's feeling hurt. She doesn't want you to, to see her in certain positions. She wants to give you what she wants to give you and nothing more. And unfortunately, being vulnerable and being in a relationship with someone who is looking for that, you kind of almost have to slowly okay, this is the reason why I feel this way, or be willing to have those very, very, very hard conversations for yourself. Because I think I could tell you when he came to visit, and he was in town, and then we were walking. I was kind of showing him my neighborhood, and we were walking, and there's a lake, and it's maybe a 10-15 minute walk. And this is the time I came back from my cruise, and I was in so much physical pain in my back. It was unbelievable. Remember, I told you the massage was terrible. It wasn't great. And I was in so much pain, and we're walking, and I think we were 10 minutes in, and I halfway through it. And I'm like, okay, we got to go back because I'm in so much pain. And he was like, no, let's keep walking. I'm like, no, I'm really in pain. And he was like, it's okay, you can do it. And then he grabbed my hand, and then he just walked real close to me just to kind of get me through the walk, because he knows I was in pain, but he also wanted me to walk. So it was just having that person that is really mindful, considerate, and gentle. Oh my gosh, it is definitely a game changer. And I think not females, but people when I hear people saying like, oh, I want to be me, I want to be at peace, relationships are hard, I understand it. I understand it because we deep down don't truly really want to have to put so much energy into it, but that is what it requires. And the thing is that there's no guarantee it's going to be perfect still, but it does require that. And I think the biggest thing is that if you really are mindful who you're making the sacrifice and the effort for. And I know after you've put efforts into certain things and it hurts so much, because trust me, I've been in various relationships where it's like I put effort into it, or maybe not enough, but I put some kind of level of effort into it and it didn't work out. It does take a lot out of you and you just don't want to having to do it again. And I don't want people to learn or try to understand me, because I love me. I love myself. I love what I have, and I don't want that to be affected. So I say, you coming into my life, don't make it stressful. Don't make it more than it has to be. Don't, ruin my peace. But it's really more so like, I know it requires work, but I don't know if I really want to put in that work that it requires. And that's why I'm telling you, I need my peace. So it was just something I thought about. I know he's going to be, it's like, but you have to find the person that's worth it. And something I tell him, or I share with him in a very nice way. And I say like, I single for me is nice. It's comfortable. I get home and I deal with me and I give when I want to give. I share what I want to share. I go where I want to go. So, and he understands that. And his thing is always like, well, I see your life. I see how it is. I want to make it, I know that he wants to work hard to make it better than what it is. And I'm like, okay. But I mean, granted, that is something that maybe most guys say, but it's also watching how he goes about it. And the way he's been going about it has been like refreshing. And I hope that people who are in that single space and really down and out, just know that it is going to take out of you. And you have to be willing to deal with it. And me, I'm like, I thought I was prepared to, be open and vulnerable, but I think it was only to surface level. And it takes another level of person to even push you through that. And you're like, man, I didn't realize I wasn't that bad, or I didn't get to where I thought I was, but this person is here like pulling me more out of it. And it's like, it can seem like, oh, you're disturbing my peace, you're interrupting, you're getting, you're making me, you're trying to, get me upset or push my buttons or, test me. And I think we single people, after a while, we really don't want to be bothered. And that's why we act like, the world's going to end when we're told, like, when we're put into a position where, you get to that point and, people are like, oh, why are you single? Because I don't want to do the work. I don't want to be involved. I'm not saying for me, but I'm just saying, like, when people ask me in the time, it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to deal with it. But the reality is, do you really not want to deal with it? Or you just really are scared to deal with it? And you don't know that outcome is going to be what you expect. And it also, is that person worth it? That's the other thing. Oh my gosh, is that person worth it? And sometimes you may thought they were worth it and then it goes away for whatever reason. But this is why you take with a lesson and the time that you had, and don't push it to the next person and leave the same expectation, but instead just be like, okay, that was an experience I had. It was great, but I'm moving on and I'm leaving that experience now. And the next experience, I don't expect the same thing, but I am open to what it has to offer. So, I mean, that's the kind of mindset I have. Like, I'm enjoying the moments and being with this individual. But I also understand the work that we've both put in. But at the same time, we know that we don't hold our future. So we have to, still be in the moment, still enjoy still learn, understand that being in a relationship with someone is going to require you to grow. And that's something I think, like I said, I've maybe have been pushing or holding off or not, not being forced to be in. And now it's like, oh, okay. And it's not bad. It's not bad. You just realize your growth and you're like, oh, wow, I see this, I see that. And you understand where you don't want to be. And you've watched other people's relationship and know that this is not the way you want it. So you have the opportunity to change your story. Yeah. And it's okay. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. So I need to go get me some lunch and go work as well. And I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you tomorrow.